Cal here. No jokes in this video. If you want to see me do jokes, just look at any of my other videos. If you want to see me do stand-up, go and see Dave Din's Sales channel. Instead today I'm going to be talking about the new theory in the Zodiac Killer case, Gary Poste. I went into this with good faith. In fact, when I first heard about the scars on this guy's head, I thought, is this some information that's been withheld from the public all this time? Turns out, no, it isn't. That's a new thing. In fact, if you can find any mention of scars on the Zodiac's head prior to this Tuesday, please let me know. Please actually send actual information there, rather than, yeah, 3 people said it. Actually specify who those people are. I watched a video uploaded by Pete A. Turner. I don't know this guy. I was just looking at Zodiac Killer videos. And he was talking to a guy called Eric Kleinsmith of the Case Breakers. And I've watched the video twice. Once for fun and once to make notes, which is what I'm reading from. Yeah. I made a couple of observations on that guy's channel. There was somebody there called Common Sense who raised the issue of scars. He said he's never heard of, he or she has never heard of the Zodiac Killer having scars. And I agreed. And somebody called Gene the Time Machine said 3 witnesses described unnatural creasing to the forehead. I mean, we've all got unnatural creasing, mate. I responded, cool, can you provide their names and heaven when they reported this, please? No response. But somebody called Dwayne Murray did respond. Firstly saying that, well, implying, he didn't actually say it, implying that I don't know anything about the Zodiac Killer case, which is helpful. I mean, please share your information with me then, rather than saying that. And then goes on to say it's a really silly question to ask who the witnesses' names are. I don't think that's a silly question at all. I really don't. I really do disagree with you there. If you're talking about the kids from the Stein shooting, then say it was the kids from the Stein shooting, you know, and I'll look into it. And if I'm wrong, I will issue a follow-up video apologising in the form of a song with a haiku. Can't say fairer than that. So Gary Poste is the new / not so new suspect. When I first saw him and the theory, I thought, this is interesting. He looks like Don Chaney on steroids. I thought, I'm in. I want to know more about this. The thing that did give me a bit of a red flag was this Gary Poste is now linked to the murder of Sherry Jo Bates in Riverside in 1966. Oh well, no, that's a lie. I did actually think that was the Zodiac for many years, but I don't think it is. My understanding, again, correct me if I'm wrong, is the fingerprint that's on the confession letter doesn't match the fingerprints that are on Sherry Jo Bates' car, and none of those prints match any of the prints that are currently believed to be the Zodiac. So I don't think it's the same killer. Riverside police certainly don't think it's the same killer. I have often wondered over the years whether they actually know who it was, but But I don't think that's true because they have his DNA. I mean, she got some um, scratches in on him and got some pieces of his flesh under a thumbnail, I believe. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I know you will. So back to Eric Kleinsmith talking about Gary Poste. Now, this is going to get a bit repetitive, but it's important. Early on, he says the cipher to break the Zodiac letters was his name. The cipher to break the Zodiac letters was his name. That makes no sense to me. There was no explanation for it, what that means. I mean, there are four ciphers, four major ciphers, two of which have been successfully cracked, two of which haven't. So I don't understand what he's getting at there. I've got my suspicions. He also says his name is the cipher. Again, explain what the hell that means, because that means nothing to me, honestly. It also says he signed his name to every letter without explaining how. How did he sign his name to every letter? Apparently, he used his name as a cipher. Again, that means nothing on its own without some kind of explanation about what you're talking about. What that sounds like to me is Gary L. Stewart talking about Earl Van Best Jr. You know, he found Earl Van Best Jr.'s name in one of the ciphers. Can't remember which, doesn't matter because it's all horse shit. Yeah, I mean, he was basically finding Earl Van Best Jr.'s name in everything and all that. I mean, if you've seen the little video of Earl Van Best from his trial, he was a little scrawny man. I could have beaten him in a fight, honestly. You can't say that with other Zodiac suspects. Don China couldn't have taken him, even in 2007 when he did that documentary. His name was Arthur Lee Allen. No, couldn't have taken him. Could possibly have taken Arthur Lee Allen. If I got in a kick to his gouty foot, I reckon he would have gone down like a sack of shit. But no, I mean, honestly, Earl Van Best Jr. not a good suspect. Leave a comment. Which Zodiac suspect could you have fought? Let me know. So anyway, wandered off a bit. You also produced some photographs, some of which are interesting, some of which are not. There was a photograph of a piece of wood with the photographer silhouetted, appearing to wear the hood from the Lake Berryessa attack. Could be. Could be that Gary Poste was a beekeeper. I don't seriously mean that, by the way. What I mean to say is that photograph is horse shit. Okay, the wing walker boots. Now, Eric Kleinsmith says that these wing walker boots may still be around. Brilliant. Find them. Let's have a look. Also says that DNA, they're looking for a comparison. Would have been nice to get the comparison before going public, but I understand that they haven't got the resources for that. That also, I may be wrong on this, and if I am, I'm sure I'll hear about it. But wasn't Gary Stewart's book released before a DNA comparison was done? Just a bit of a coincidence there. So Eric Kleinsmith says, basically, yeah, we've gone as far as we can now. It's up to law enforcement. Brilliant. And of course, law enforcement aren't going to do anything with this because they have literally provided nothing other than a name. So this is where I think this is all going to go. Nowhere. And you're probably not going to hear about this ever again. Could be wrong. Or it could be that these case breakers are sitting on a load of great evidence and they've not provided it to us yet, but will do in the future. Okay, so Gary Poste apparently had a bit of a posse. That's interesting. Again, I'm not actually saying that Gary Poste is not the Zodiac. He might be. And the fact that he had this posse, he certainly looks like a bit of a contender, but not based on anything that these case breakers have provided yet. Went on to say that he was an Air Force mechanic. Brilliant. Like it. Genuinely. That's what we're looking for. Also ended up, I believe, as a house painter. Yeah, and that obviously then would tie in with Sherry Jo Bates, the watch that was found, assumed from the killer, with specks of paint on it. Don't think he was a house painter back in 1966, but I don't know. Nobody said otherwise, so maybe he was. Maybe he was. And maybe he did kill Sherry Jo Bates and all of the canonical Zodiac crimes and the disappearance of Donna Lass. I'm going to get onto that as well. Right, okay. Another revelation, genuinely, in this interview. I keep looking at his name because I don't know, Pete A. Turner. One of the letters was mailed from Riverside. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Please, somebody let me know which letter it was, because, as I said, that was news to me. Right, okay, so more about the scar on the forehead. Was linked to Lake Berryessa. That might be a genuine mistake. Eric Kleinsmith may have misspoken on that, because obviously the only Cecilia Shepherd did see the Zodiac without his hood on, but wasn't asked what the killer looked like because the police officer didn't think it was important. And obviously she died a couple of days later. There's also an interesting story about one of his posse who asked this Gary Poste if he was the Zodiac Killer, and he got a bit of a rambling answer. And then a book appeared on his doorstep saying this is a good read. Interesting story, like it. Got nothing negative to say about that. Okay, so then they do talk about Donna Lass and the peek through the pines card. Yeah. Okay. I don't think that postcard is a genuine Zodiac communication. I could be wrong. What makes me think that it isn't is that was the one that you had various pieces cut out from newspapers and so on. Instead of having actual handwriting, it says the word Zodiac and it has the Zodiac symbol on it. But apart from that, I don't think there's any actual text on it. And it alludes to the disappearance of Donna Lass. Okay, all right. He then says again, his name is the cipher to break the letters. Okay, that makes no fucking sense. I really hope there's more coming on this, but I don't think there is. He also says there are pieces on the outsides of the envelopes. Did not know that either. Didn't go into any detail on what these pieces are. Um, I mean, we've all seen the envelopes. I can't get anything from that, but they have. Okay, excellent. So then someone in the chat breaks in. I didn't take this guy's name. Give real evidence. And then they're both kind of, the host laughs it off. And there's a comment made, some people are never satisfied. Might be because you've said nothing so far. You've said nothing. I really don't know what to say to that. So then he says that Eric Kleinsmith says they're going to hand it off to law enforcement, and there's nothing more that they can do. Excellent. Another chat comment. Really good question. I'm going to paraphrase this a little bit because I didn't want to re-watch it because it was doing my head in. Something along the lines of, is there anything else from the ciphers that was unknown before? To which Eric Kleinsmith said, I did write this down. There's some pieces. I mean, I don't want to get into them because we're still looking into them. That's a no, then, isn't it? I'm gonna call horseshit on that as well. More about Donald Lass. Yeah, what was that? He made some kind of comment regarding there are things in the Zodiac letters that relate directly to the disappearance of Donald Lass. Now, what's interesting about that is there weren't that many Zodiac letters after the disappearance of Donald Lass. Not that many. She disappeared late 1970. September, maybe, October. I'm going to have got the date wrong and you're going to haul me over the coals for that. But sometime in 1970 anyway. And the letters stopped in 1971. Started again briefly in 74. And then no more. So I want to know what that information is. Now, to his credit, he does say it's good to be sceptical about what we're doing. If that's the case, you're going to love this video, really is. Then goes on to say the name Gary Poste is new to everybody. It isn't. It really isn't. But not known enough to be one of the contenders, certainly. But maybe more information will come out. Doubt that very much. Then says again, I said this was going to get repetitive, but here we go. The name is the cipher. That's the important piece. Why is it the important piece? And what the hell are you talking about? Now, as regards to ciphers themselves, 2 of them have been solved satisfactorily. 2 of them haven't. Now, if you notice, there is no mention at all of the Z13. Now, that's interesting, isn't it? Now, I can't get the name Gary Poste into the Z13. Gary Francis Poste, Gary Poste, I can't get it in. And that's unusual because you can pretty much make that cipher say whatever you want it to say. And you can see evidence of this everywhere. Arthur Lee Allen, Donald Lee Cheney, Huffman Best Jr. probably. I don't actually remember that, but I bet it's there somewhere. Okay, so then it gets a little bit, I think, into inappropriate territory where they're talking about Gary Poste's wife. and why put his family in the spotlight? Which is a very good question. And Eric Kleinsmith says, well, he's dead. Um, Gary Poste died in 2018. Incidentally, he died like 3 years ago. Surely you've got some handwriting from him. I mean, surely to God you've got some handwriting from him. Going off on one there. So he then goes on to explain that his wife may have some kind of dementia also. I really think it's out of order to be going public with this without actually having something other than a photograph of the piece of wood. I don't know. The next thing was the idea that Gary Post had a mail machine to stamp his own letters so he could make it look like they were mailed from a different location. What, like Riverside? That rather hurts your argument, that does, doesn't it? So, was the letter posted from Riverside, or did he just make it look like it was posted from Riverside? One or the other. That really did boil my piss. It really did. I don't know. So, no eyewitnesses said anything about a damn scar. That was another comment. I believe that was by a user called Roy. No eyewitness said anything about a damn scar. To which Eric Kleinsmith replied, actually, there was. A little bit more on that, please. He doesn't name who it was, but said there was a scar above his right eye and across his forehead. Again, if you can find anything prior to this Tuesday, let me know about a scar, because I don't know. Eric asked about more info about the ciphers. Is this going to be... Oh yeah, there you go. There's another comment. He was asked, is there going to be more info about the ciphers? Is it going to come out? And he gave a completely vague answer. So my guess is no. There was another comment about people not being satisfied with Gary Post being the Zodiac because it goes against their own guy. Is that true? Might be. I'm going to give them that. I think Don Chaney did it. But I could talk for at least half an hour about why I'm wrong, because he didn't do it. It's all very, very, very flimsy, and everything that has been presented so far has been nothing. It's been horse shit. A photograph of a piece of wood and a guy who might be the Zodiac Killer, but then so could many, many other people. So that's my lengthy response to that video. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you later. Ta-ra.